Well, let's just start with this, anyways. Um,
Right, because that's talking about like doing individual options separately.
I want that.
Yeah, I do too, but that's not the direction that they're pushing. So they still want to do option packs, right? And the whole reason manufacturers want to do option packs is just for production's sake.
Yeah,
Because if you do individual options, every individual option is an order of magnitude more potential configurations that car could exist in. Right? Like if every option was individual, a car with like, a few dozen options suddenly has hundreds of possible combinations of those
right,
options.
right. And Toyota, when they were doing their Scion project, had
Oh yeah,
realized
that was
that
genius. No options.
consumers, yeah, consumers didn't give a shit about options. They just cared about a good product. And then they had options, which were aftermarket you could add on afterwards at the dealership. But basically, I make thing, here's thing, and then
Yeah.
wait 2 years. Hey, I made thing in different color. Here you go.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
100%. Saturn did the same thing back in the 90s.
Yeah, but that's GM, and we don't give them credit.
Damn. The hate rate is
Well, it was in
real.
the '90s. It was an era where people wanted options, and it was not marketed correctly, and it was seen as the poor man's. It had stigma behind it.
Yeah, for sure. For sure it did. So, the thing that Ford is pushing towards, and I'll go ahead and give the credit out. Right here, we started this discussion because of an article by Sebastian Blanco over on Car and Driver,
Hmm.
uh, talking about Ford looking at the chip shortage and excessive inventory on dealer lots, having to do incentives to move that inventory. And Ford wants to look
Hmm.
at using the new Ford Express Buy tool to allow you to what we used to call a factory order, right? Where you would spec the color,
Hmm.
option pack, and everything else that you want in the vehicle. And then Ford will, in 6 to 8 weeks, deliver you that vehicle exactly how you want it. Ups
Yep.
and downs. Typically, there's no, at least I've factory ordered several vehicles at this point. All Ford, not all Fords, mostly Fords though. Interestingly enough, and the deal
Hmm.
there is that you don't get any. You get the factory incentives, right? But you're not going to get anything from the dealer on this as far as any cut off of MSRP. They're going to sell it to you
Right.
at sticker minus incentives,
Right.
which is fine. Uh,
It's because they didn't buy it.
right. It
That's why.
honestly never sat. Like the dealer never really even owned it. They were just
Yeah.
a delivery point.
Yep. They might get a kickback from Ford saying, "Hey, you made a sale," but they don't make their own sale.
Right. And that's kind of a thing. Um,
Hmm.
and Ford wants to push towards that to keep inventories lower because their CEO is basically, and he's right, that all those cars sitting on dealer lots are just money tied up, losing money. They're depreciating
Yep.
assets, and they're not doing anybody any good.
Yeah. It's a waste of
They,
product.
yeah, it is, and they've started this already with the Mach E.
Hmm.
You can buy a Mach E that way,
Hmm.
and they intend to expand that out to sell their other cars that way.
Hmm.
And the push, the big thing that's going to shift here is if you don't have a dealer holding a bunch of inventory for you to go look at and test drive them, and you're buying basically, right, you do all your due diligence, do your research online, do whatever. And a lot of us are already at that point. When you go to the dealer, you're
Yeah.
not looking to look at like seven different ones to see what you want. You've already looked. You know what option pack you want, you know what color you want. It's just a, do you guys have
Hmm.
that, or am I going to have to order it
Yeah.
or get it from some other dealer, right? But at that point, if you already know what you want and you're ordering it, what value added is the dealer bringing to this transaction? Yeah, right. Like you start getting really close to the idea of, Ford, you could just pay Ford directly for the vehicle and then go pick it up from a Ford distribution center. You'd only need a handful in every state. Mm. And it's starting to sound a whole lot like the order process for Tesla that already exists.
Yup.
You order a Tesla online with the options you want. They give you a call some period of weeks later when your car in your color with your options has arrived at your local Tesla delivery center, and then you go pick it up and
And
you
they
pay
take
Tesla
you,
directly.
they give you a small plaque, and they take your picture, and they make a whole occasion out of it.
Sometimes they also do home deliveries, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think, but
Yeah.
that's neither here
But
nor there.
yeah, this idea has gotten so far positive reviews when I posted up on my little Instagram page, which, by the way, if you haven't followed us, Broken Axle Podcast, um, and that a person, namely a friend of ours, was in Texas, and she's like, "Yeah, if I order a full boutique car, we'll call it, right, and I'm spending the money for a brand new car, I am tired of going to dealerships." Like, and I quote, "I'm tired of going to dealerships and not getting exactly what I want, and I'm willing to wait the 6 to 8 weeks to get exactly what I want because this is the world we kind of live in."
Yep.
And it's an interesting twist because it used to be, especially through the 90s and 2000s, you went to the dealership, kind of found out what you wanted, and then got sold on something, and then you can have it that day. And it's very, that mindset is very modernistic. It's like a whole, I want it, I can go out and I can get it right now. And now we're kind of diverging back towards, what was it, the 50s and 60s, where it's like, oh, I see something I like, but I'm willing to wait for it because my money is now important to me, or it's more important than instant gratification of getting the car now.
I don't. I don't know that it's an instant gratification. I mean, it is, but I don't know that that's the thing.
Hmm.
So much as people cared a lot less about which for normies, right?
Yeah.
Sorry for the hate, but I'm not going to apologize. You know what? I'm not sorry about it. For the normies, they don't care, right? Which particular variety of beige appliance with wheels they buy doesn't actually
Hmm.
matter that much. So to them, yeah, you go to the dealer, you look at a couple of them. I don't know, maybe this one's got gold pinstriping and this one's got Sahara beige. Not that I could tell you the
Hmm.
fucking difference. And you
Right.
can take either one of them home today. So, boom, wheels
Yep.
acquired.
Yep.
But now a lot more, well, maybe not so much now, but definitely back in the 50s and kind of now, people like us, like your friend on Instagram and, our kind of people, we have a lot more interest in our vehicles.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's definitely becoming a thing of you can have exactly what you want. It always has been, I guess. But also, I
Yeah.
feel like the way the interwebs have expanded the availability of information.
Hmm.
It also used to be that the dealers knew a ton about the vehicles, and you could go like look at stuff in depth, poke
Yeah.
around, stuff like that. That's not really a thing anymore, but you don't need to because the interwebs has more information available about the vehicle than you could ever want.
It's that it's that Park and Recreations clip where he goes to Home Depot and the guy's like, "How
I
can I
know
help you with
more.
your project today?" And he's like, "I know more than you."
Yes,
That's every
100%.
single interaction I've had with dealerships. Yeah, every single interaction I've had with dealerships since 2000 freaking 10 have been coming to the lot. Guy would come up to me and says, "Hey, how can I help you today?" And I tell him exactly what I want, and I know more than he does. And now
Yep.
he's no longer trying to sell me a car. I'm now asking him about what they can do as far as pricing because I already know what I want or I already know what I'm looking at.
Yeah, my three Fords were all factory orders. I've
Hmm.
bought three new Fords in the last several years. They were
Mustang.
I broke Craig. The Mustang, the Silver Fiesta, Fiesta number one, and my
Oh, that's what I
2016
was
F one
missing.
fifty.
Yeah, you had your EcoBoom F-150 and the Mustang. I knew that. I forgot the SFE was a factory. I thought that was used.
Yeah, the factory Fiesta, or sorry, the first Fiesta. The red one is was used. Yes,
Yeah,
the silver one.
yeah, yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I've had too many Fiestas. Hate me if you want to.
Also, give Steven a round of applause too because he actually bought a front-wheel drive Nugget. Keep the
Brand
spirit
new.
alive.
Yeah, right. The nuggetiest of nuggets. 3 cylinders of
Yeah,
fury, baby.
yeah,
Anyway, in all three cases, right? The Mustang, obviously, the dealer had Mustangs, but they didn't have any track pack cars with Recaros, so I had to special order that.
yeah.
Figures. Not surprising. The Fiesta, the dealer had Fiestas,
Hmm.
but no SFEs with the 3 cylinder, which is what we wanted. Once again, factory ordered that.
Hmm.
And then the F 150, that one really wasn't anything special. It was just I had a very specific set of options that I wanted.
Mhm.
And just because of the way things were going on trucks at that point, they weren't really giving me anything cut wise, price wise, to buy one
Yeah.
off the lot. So I was like, well, why? If I'm not going to get any better
Why not?
deal to buy one off the lot, then I'm just going to get one that's exactly the color and option pack that I want.
Yeah. He intentionally got the baby boost too.
I did. I got the 2.7 EcoBoost, and ain't no shame in it. If you're not
No.
towing a trailer all the time, it is a fantastic truck. Sounds like a
Well,
vacuum
I think all the F-150s are really hits in their own category.
Yeah.
I even think that the Lightning is a hit. It just needs to be a single cab short bed.
and do burnouts.
Yeah. Ford.
More burnouts.
In white. In white.
But yeah,
Right.
so the push in this is, Ford isn't, they're not talking about the dealers right now. They're just talking about a direct to consumer marketing. So they're still going to be delivered through a dealer and everything else. But I think that the obvious next step in this is that if the consumer's ordering it online and selecting all their options and everything else, and it gets delivered to the dealer, and then they go to the dealer and sign some papers and take delivery of it, the dealer's not doing a whole lot in this transaction. You start to ask, like, man, you're paying a whole lot of overhead and dealer dock fees and all this other crap for the dealer to not do much.
Yeah. And then it gets to a point of where why not just have a Ford distribution center take care of the state stuff and then tack that onto the price of the vehicle instead of paying a dealer for it.
Yeah.
And I dislike dealers anyway, so I'm saying I'm all for it.
I am as well. People talk about it as the reason for the dealers is like the building a relationship, complete garbage. Service, also kind of garbage. I worked in dealers for a few years. I was a fun backstory thing, right? I was an ASE Master Tech many years ago before the Navy. Dealerships are not where you find the best technicians. Not even close, actually. For those of you that are getting your vehicle serviced at the dealer, because that's the best. No, it's really not. They do have access to the best specialty tools and specialty software. 100% true. But typically not the best technicians.
Yeah.
And so aside from that one, most new cars for their first, 50, 60,000 miles, they don't need to go see a technician for anything.
Unless
they
it's
get oil changes.
Products.
Dun, dun, dun. Right. Most new stuff these days.
Yeah.
Just doesn't go to it just doesn't go in for anything.
Yeah.
I've lost count of how many, I would be interested if somebody's done that research. Maybe drop us a link or something if that already exists. I don't know. I haven't looked for it, but I would be interested to see how many cars in their first 100,000 actually go to the dealer for anything that's not basic maintenance. I feel like it's not very many, or recalls. I feel like it's not very many anymore.
Right.
Like most cars go 100K with nothing, just basic maintenance, and that's it.
Or they should go with nothing for the first 100,000. And if you live in that world where you're taking it to the dealership every 100 or every 10,000, probably reconsider your vehicle choices.
What are you driving? Right? I'm just saying.
Yeah. It's a Volkswagen product.
My Fiesta and the Mazda have, they're coming up on 100. They're both coming up on 100 fairly quickly. And neither one of them has had anything parts wise besides maintenance parts.
Yeah. Well, I haven't owned anything long enough to say that. My Saab. Well, actually, no, I lied. I have owned my Saab for about 4.5 years, and I never took it to the dealership to take care of something that broke. I only took it to the dealership once for a major maintenance period that I honestly didn't feel like taking care of myself. I had my Charger for 3 years, and that was at the dealership every 6 months underneath 100,000 miles because that was a flaming pile of turd.
Okay, so, it depends on what you buy, I guess. That said, there are tons and tons of mechanics shops, right? Like, there's no need to go to a dealer. And disregarding the service and separating the service half of the dealer from selling you the car half,
Hmm.
I'm not seeing it. I think, and I'm hopeful that this will take off. Also, because there are several states lobbies that have fought really hard against this, mostly dealer funded lobbies,
Yeah.
obviously. That's why Teslas can't be sold in certain states. Now, Teslas are federally
Texas.
legal.
I'll call them
Right.
straight out.
Yeah. There's several states. Texas isn't the only one. But it's easy enough, right? You just go buy it
Yeah.
in your neighboring state. And then that's fine. You can buy cars out of state. That's
They
totally
have
legal.
them deliver it. And then you have them deliver it and then licensed. And then you just go to a Target parking lot and pick up your Tesla.
Yes.
Why?
Because the dealer lobby doesn't want that to be an accepted practice in the state.
Yeah.
Right? Because if Tesla pulls it off and it's an accepted practice, then it's really easy for Ford or GM or whoever to be like, you know what? We're going to do that too. And then there's no legality question because it's already been answered.